Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back to the channel. We are live on this Thursday night again, a big weekend of League One football coming your way. We have got so many games that mean so much. In today's episode, we are going to focus on the bottom end of the table. Again, we'll have some content out of the top end of League One in the next 24 hours to 48 hours coming your way. But we are discussing those teams that are being affected at both ends of the table. They are Morecambe FC, who are on 42 points after 45 games. Fleetwood on 40 points after 45 games. You've got Gillingham also on 40 points with a significantly worse goal difference, which is keeping Fleetwood outside the bottom four. You've also got Wimbledon, who need a 7-goal swing. They are unlikely to stay up. Some bookies putting them as 250 to 1 to stay up in League One this season. It is going to be a long, long day, and there is plenty more twist in the tail. Gillingham against Rotherham also been selected for Sky TV coverage. Gillingham haven't won on Sky for 8 years since they beat Wolves 8 years ago in 2014. Morecambe again have the visit of Sunderland at home. Morecambe, again, been the best side recently in the bottom end. Again, have lost over half their games, but pretty much every side in the bottom half have. Morecambe conceded the most goals. Fleetwood scored the most goals. Gillingham are the third lowest goal scorers in the EFL. So it's going to be, there's a lot of positives to a lot of clubs, but there's also a lot of negatives as well. And we're going to talk about it with some guests in this show. But before we bring Joel in and Matt in later on, we're going just to go to the comments. Evening, Shrimply Morecambe FC. I hope you're well, mate. Congratulations on reaching 8,500 subscribers. Well deserved. Thank you very much, Tony. It means a lot. It is tight at the bottom. Donny as well, by the way. If they had a 27-goal swing, they will stay up. Owned a small matter of Oxford away, but you never know. Fleet will stay up. A great result for Wednesday. Yesterday, we will have some prediction videos out tomorrow for you on the top end of League One. This is just a 45-minute, 50-minute show on the bottom end of League One. Again, it is so tight at the bottom, and I've not been nervous yet, but that may change in the next 45 minutes. Morecambe will go down. We will beat them on Saturday. Morecambe, in my opinion, I was going to win my tweet. Morecambe are in pole position, but you never know in football. But Morecambe deserve to be there, and some moments stand out as well. Not disrespect, but I want Gills to go down. Nothing against you guys. It's just too far for an away day. I do like a far away day. Again, it is one of those types of away days. Again, we will have Matt with us very shortly. Matt, just give us a thumbs up when you're ready, mate. And we'll get you in, pal. It's gonna be a horrible weekend. That's all I'm gonna say. And I don't know what way it can go. As a Fleetwood point of view, Fleetwood should have won the other night, in my opinion. It's 2-1 up, soft goals to give away, but it's the story of our season. And Gillingham will probably be thinking, they'll go into that game with half an hour to go thinking, well, we're down here. And now they're thinking, we've got a chance that we didn't have half an hour ago at 90 minutes. So for me, I think that perks Gills up a little bit. You all ready, Matt? Perfect. We're going to get Matt in from the very popular Gills in the Blood podcast. Matt, how are we doing, mate?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm nervous.
Yeah, it's I spoke to a Rotherham fan for my match preview that we've just put out on our channel, and I said there's part of me that just wants to fast forward to 2:30 on Saturday, and just so we know one way or the other, whether it's relegation or last day survival, at least we'll know, and we can start planning for whatever division we need to plan to be in next season. But unfortunately, it's not that simple, and we're all going to have to sit there and go through the roller coaster of emotions for the next 48 hours or so in the build up to the game. Obviously, our game's huge in the sense that there's so much riding on it for both teams. I'm hoping from Bolton's perspective that Ian Evatt goes strong. There's integrity of the competition that we have to think about, of course, but at the same time, if he wants to rest a few and play the kids, then that's not his fault that we've been rubbish for the best part of all the season. So we've got to try and take care of our own business first and foremost, which we failed to do for most of the season, and that's why we're sitting here having this chat now with one game to go. But obviously, Rotherham can still drop into the playoffs. They can still finish second. They can still win the league. So I'm not happy because they've gone and put us on Sky, and we're rubbish on Sky.
Yeah, I think that Wolves game was the last time you went on Sky. A Gillingham fan was telling me yesterday. Again, before Harris came in, you were on 0.68 points a game. You'd only won 3 times. Since he's come in, it's 1.23 points a game. And you'd be like, well, I'll take that, on Saturday, because I think a point keeps you up, in my opinion. What's changed? Because in my opinion, I don't think the play style has changed. I just think he's just come in and given them a bit more motivation, a bit more freedom to go and express themselves that they might have not had 2 weeks prior to that.
Yeah, in terms of, we're very direct still. We hit Verdane Oliver early, you know that. You come down to our place Easter Monday and you watch the game between two rubbish sides. Let's not dress it up or sugarcoat it. We're both struggling for a reason. The biggest change that Neil Harris has come in and made in terms of us is tighten us up at the back. We never played a back 3, back 5 under Steve Evans. I think we played it once at Oxford in his first season, and we were 3-0 down inside half hour, so that quickly got sort of banished and swept under the carpet. But Neil's been really clever in the sense that he knows what players we've got in what areas. We've got no creativity, unfortunately, because most of our creative players are injured, the likes of Danny Lloyd and Alex McDonald and Mustafa Carriel. We've got Ollie Lee, but he's been playing deeper, maybe through necessity. I'm not sure. I've said all season long that Ollie Lee's not a box-to-box central midfielder like you used to get in, the olden days, so to speak. But you get pigeonholed, you're either a central defensive midfielder or you're a number 10. Ollie Lee's a number 10 for me, and his stats back that up over the last 2 seasons with us. At the moment, he's having to play deep. I don't think positionally he's good enough. I don't see him make enough tackles to play that role, but we've just got to find a way Saturday. And we've got to remain defensively solid like we have done for the majority of Neil Harris's reign. My only concern is that we've still not beaten a team in the top portion of the table. But to flip that, the Wycombe performance recently at home, the Sheffield Wednesday performance recently at home will give me belief that we should have probably won both of them games. But it's whether we can find enough cut and thrust and be clinical enough in the final third. And that's something we didn't do against you. And no disrespect, Rotherham are a much better side than Fleetwood. Rotherham are probably a better side than Wycombe and Sheffield Wednesday as well, if you're basing it over a whole season. I know that the form's slightly patchy over the last few weeks, and fingers crossed that continues into Saturday. But we've got to be in the game with 20 minutes to go. Obviously, the ideal solution is that Bolton score twice in the first 15 minutes, Plymouth score twice in the first 15 minutes. Us and Rotherham can settle for a point and everyone goes home happy. But we know it's not going to happen like that. It's going to be nervy and everyone's going to be biting their nails. And we've got to make sure we give ourselves a chance with 15, 20 to play. If we're level and you're getting beat, then obviously then we start hoping that MK Dons are losing as well. But it's going to be a horrible game because we're all going to be looking elsewhere. We know we shouldn't do that. We all have to concentrate on our own business. But you're going to be looking at our result. We're going to be looking at your result, Morecambe's result. The Rotherham fans are going to be looking at the Wigan game and the MK Dons game. Everyone's probably going to be paying more attention to fixtures that they're not actually at. It's going to be horrible. There's no point sitting here and pretending otherwise. It's going to be a very stressful 90 minutes, and may the best team come out of it. I don't think it's either of us that's the favourites still. I don't think it's me or you that's the favourites. I think it's Morecambe that are still in the box seat because a point probably saves them. They can probably afford to lose and still stay up.
Yeah, I agree. You see the best team. I don't think there is a best team between those bottom 3, bottom 4. 40 points. We've seen teams go down with 51 points before. 50 points. Southend. We talk about, getting it done early. They didn't get it done early. If you remember, I think Stephen Humphrey scored a late goal. They need to keep them up at Roots Hall a couple of years ago, and it could go down to that. Now, if I had to ask you quickly for 3 what-ifs, what if we did this? What if we did that? And you'd be fine. For me, the first thing to look at, your top goal scorer, barring Verdine Oliver, Danny Lloyd's on 5. He's been out for a large portion of the season.
Yeah.
Is McKenzie on 3? That's got to be a big factor, surely. Whereas Fleetwood have a lot of players on 6 and 7s. Danny Andrew, Jed Garner, Ellis Harrison, Harrison Biggins, Anthony Pilkington, Callum Johnson. Those types of players have chipped in.
Yeah, it's a massive issue. I mean, we've scored 13 goals at the Priestfield. So if it's another thing that Fleetwood fans and Morecambe fans want to look at as a positive, it's that. And I think 2 or 3 of them have been penalties. So we've scored 10 goals in open play at home. It's comfortably our worst ever return in the modern era. And I think we've got to score 9 to even get level with what was the worst before then. And we're not going to do that. We've not scored more than 2 in a game all season, Ben, in any competition. And that, coupled with the fact that we were shipping too many at the other end for 90% of the campaign, is why we're sat here having this chat again. And I think own goals is on 2. So that's we shouldn't laugh, but we can't change it. All we can affect now is the 90 minutes on Saturday. And that, from a fan perspective, that means we've got to go there and be positive and not get on their backs if they're struggling. And if we do go 1-0 down, we've got to stay with them. And the players have got to turn up and realise that for 90 minutes, this is their League One stature at risk. And who wants it more, us or Rotherham? I've no idea, to be honest. But yeah, the goal scoring thing's been a massive, massive problem.
Yeah. Can you see yourself coming back? Because I believe personally, I do think Morecambe are going to stay up now. And I've said that 3 or 4 games ago. As soon as they beat Charlton, I thought it's a great result that. They got that late point when we played against Portsmouth on the Easter Monday. I think Morecambe are the most likely to come back because I think they've got a stabilisation there. I think with Fleetwood and Gillingham, I think it's a bit like I think you're ahead of us because you've got a manager there, a very good manager there in place. Could you see yourself coming back, or do you think it's going to take a couple of years to come back? And it makes the game even more important to stay up, doesn't it?
Certainly more positive now that we've got Neil Harris. Certainly more positive the fact that we've decided to become a 21st century football club, and we've now employed a director of football, head of recruitment, whatever you want to label it, in Nicky Shorey, who I believe worked for Neil at Millwall for a short period. So that gives me hope. If you'd asked me this 2 months ago, I'd have said I think a lot of fans were saying there was a fear that we'd probably do a Southend and slip all the way through. I don't see that happening under Neil Harris. I think he's too good a manager. But ultimately, it comes down to the man at the top, and that's Mr. Scally, and how much he loosens the purse strings in the summer and how much he actually backs Neil Harris. It's all right saying it and getting a recruitment man in, someone to go and identify players, but unless he puts his hand in his pocket to allow Neil to be able to convince them players that they want to play their football in Kent, then we can't really answer that question. But yeah, as a simple answer, certainly a lot more positive that we've got Neil Harris and Nicky Shorey involved than I was a couple of months ago.
One final question before I let you go. Morecambe Sunderland prediction.
Sunderland at home, aren't they?
No, it's Morecambe Sunderland at the Globe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Sold out as well, by the way.
Still back Sunderland to win.
Yeah. Probably their best. I think the 12 unbeaten, they won 7 of those. Fleetwood Bolton prediction.
Again, it's tricky because I don't know how Ian Everett's going to treat it. If he goes and wants to rotate everyone, then that brings you into the reckoning. But if he goes full strength, then your inability to hold a lead, even if you do go in front, and the fact that you've won 1 in 18, 19.
Yeah.
Bolton hopefully want to finish on a high in front of their supporters and build some momentum for next season. Narrow Bolton win, but that's probably with my heart rather than my head.
Everett and Craney, by the way, good mates from when they were together at Blackpool. But I know Ian Everett, the way he speaks, he wants to win every game of football. Now,
I think a Gills fan said to me the other day and said that we'll be drawing, you could be drawing, and then Carl Dempsey scored for Bolton, thinking, oh, it'd help us out because he's our ex-captain. And then I replied and said, but don't forget he spent a lot of time at Fleetwood as well. So yeah, there's probably one person that I would or I wouldn't want. And if Bolton got a penalty in the last minute, it wouldn't be Carl Dempsey because I wouldn't.
So much pressure on it, isn't it?
Well, exactly, yeah. And he's going to hurt one former club. So, but yeah, I think Bolton, if they go full strength, have probably got just enough to get a final day win in front of their own supporters.
What about yourselves again? Your fans were very impressive when I came down. Again, good numbers. Again, against a very good Rotherham side, very well organised Rotherham side. Defensively sound. These are the things you're going to have to be against. That probably the best side for it in the league. Poor one, good infrastructure. Need a win to go up on Sky. What's going to happen?
Head says Rotherham win because they're a better football team. They've got better players. They've got more options. They've got more momentum. 5 games without a win, the Gills at the moment. It's the longest under Neil Harris, and it's come at the worst possible time. But to try and remain positive, I come back to, like I said earlier in the show, is the Wycombe performance and the Sheffield Wednesday performance. If we can perform to them levels, we might just get a bit of luck in front of goal. We might just get a decision off a referee. For Dane Oliver, never know, might win a free kick. But again, it's so hard because we don't know what's going to be going on in the other games. But heart says we pinch a point. Head says Rotherham beat us.
Yeah, I think it's getting through that first 20, 25 minutes. Before you go, Matt, do you want to plug your channel again? Anyone that's not been over to subscribe yet, they can go and do so.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great. Obviously, we're Gills in the Blood, as you can see by my handle. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So please come and give us a follow. We do 3 regular shows a week. We do Match Day Live, like Ben does. We do a Monday review where we look back at the weekend action, and we do a match preview show on a Thursday night as well, and then any other bits that we can get in, whether we can get interviews with club legends and that type of thing. So yeah, please come and give us a follow. If you're a fan of a League Two team that watches Ben, because I know he's got a vast amount of subscribers compared to myself. If you are League Two fans, please come and subscribe, because I might need you next season.
I might need you as well, lads.
Exactly, yeah, but you've probably already got them there. So yeah, please come and subscribe and like and tell people about us. It's the best form of content for me for lower league football is fan content, because it's people in and around it that feel it and live it all the time, as opposed to professional journalists who don't really concentrate much below the Premier League and the Championship.
I agree, Matt. Thank you very much. I'll let you go, mate. Have a good evening and try not to worry too much. I know you will be doing, and everything that anyone ever says to you, you won't be taking in.
No.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Matt.
mate.
Appreciate that, mate.
Take care, ta-da.
Yeah, so we'll come to Joel in just a moment to discuss Morecambe FC. Joel, I'll be with you in just a minute, mate. Again, there was Matt, again, very honest, good guy. I wish him all the best. I hate this time of the season, because you've got to be selfish in football, and you've got to, give your team the chances that you don't want to give other teams as well. So it's going to be a tough game. We've got to go to Bolton, who are a good side with good footballers and good fan base as well. And Gillingham again have to do it against Rotherham. Joel, are you ready, mate? And I'll get you in, mate. You ready? Yeah. There we go. Joel, how are we doing, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. Are you?
I'm all right. I'm guessing you're not. I'm guessing you are nervous, but I'd feel pretty confident if I was you. 10 wins, 12 draws, 23 defeats, 57 goals scored this year, 87 gone in your net, which I'm guessing you won't be happy about. But Derek Adams at the helm. You've got some very good footballers. You've got, the co-chairmen are doing a really good job. Yeah, selling season tickets, for really cheap prices. You've got a great home support now, which, a couple of years ago, you struggled to break the 1,000 gates at some games. Now you're getting 5,000 sold out at the weekend. As a football club, I bet you're, really happy regardless of Saturday.
Yeah, it's a funny one, really, because when a manager, when you have, two or three manager changes within the space of 12 months, you usually take that as a sign that things aren't going too well off the pitch. But in our case, it's just been quite unfortunate how things have panned out with our managers. Obviously, Derek leaving straight after promotion, Stephen coming in and then leaving in February, and then Derek dramatically coming back. But really off the pitch, things are going really nicely. I think you just mentioned them before with Matt. It does give us confidence that should things not quite go the way that we want them to on the pitch, which can happen no matter how well planned you are, that, we'd be in a decent enough place to bounce back from it. But yeah, we've just got to, focus on the task at hand on Saturday first. But yeah, it's great. Like you say, it'll be great to have all those home fans backing us as well.
Absolutely. And Fleetwood need to beat Bolton away. By the way, Fleetwood have only won 1 in 20 games and won 8 all season, 3 away from home. Fleetwood's actually 3 away wins, quite good. Rotherham away, they've actually done the double over Rotherham. So again, that could come into play with why they need a result on Saturday against Gillingham. And the other 2 wins are great away wins away at Doncaster and Crewe. Morecambe, again at home this season, have been pretty good. 7 wins, 8 draws, 7 defeats. It's just been on the road that you've been really poor. I know you beat Crewe, you beat ourselves. They're the types of results away from home now that have basically put you in this position to, stay up. We keep mentioning it, but that Cole Stockton goal, means a lot now, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think for a long time after the stadium move, the home form never quite sorted itself out. I think there's probably too much to go into and trying to unpick what ethereal factors kind of went into that. But yeah, ever since Derek took over, it's been pretty solid. It was pretty solid last season when we had no fans, but fortunately that has actually continued. Pardon me, sorry, into this season. So it's been good. I think since the turn of the year, we've only lost 2 at home, and since Adams took over, we've only lost 1 at home. So I think going into the final game of the season against Sunderland, I noticed Matt hadn't realised that we were at home. But yeah, we're quite a lot stronger at home. There's a few. I think our pitch as well kind of plays into our hands a little bit. So yeah, that gives me a bit more confidence about being able to pick up a result, because like you say, the result, even if it's a point, pretty much seals it. Although because I just as who Gillingham might nick it against Rotherham, it's unlikely, but will they nick it against Rotherham by 3 goals? Probably not. So yeah, I think you back our home form, and you'd think that it's not even the case of Fleetwood and Gillingham both needing to lose. It's just not winning. Like a point, if each of you got a point, that'd be absolutely fine. We could still lose and stay up. So yeah, we've just got to, but mainly obviously we've got to try and do our bit on our home turf, which fortunately we have been quite good at doing throughout the season, and more, especially this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Stephen Robinson obviously did leave, early in the year, and Derek Adams came back. Now, for me, Fleetwood Morecambe, obviously, there has been that little bit of a rivalry, local rivals. For me, I wanted Morecambe to come up last year, and he did a and he assembled a really good squad. And obviously, he kept you up. And then, because he made a comment, he goes, well, I don't want this club to be little old Morecambe anymore. And then you go, yeah, every manager says this, but he actually, brought it true. And you're a menace to play against last year. And maybe that Bolton game, funny enough as well, Bolton come back into it, that you lost, and they obviously beat you to automatics, was probably a plus for you, because you did it the hard way. You went to Tranmere, and for me, that was a Derek Adams type of performance. And then you went to Wembley, and again, you did a Derek Adams kind of performance. Probably on the day, it was, two sides that were just a bit nervy, a bit cagey, with so much to gain and absolutely everything to lose as well. What would you say the big differences between Stephen Robinson and Derek Adams? Because from my point of view, Derek Adams is one of the most tactically assured managers in League One at getting results. And he's either, in my opinion, no disrespect to Morecambe, but with the so-called smaller clubs, he does really well and he can build foundations. Whereas when there's so much pressure on him, like at Bradford and Plymouth towards the end, I think sometimes it does hurt Derek Adams a little bit.
I think maybe it can do. I think I'm not sure if he's a particularly big fan of politics and all that kind of moving and shaking. And I think with Plymouth, to be fair, he got him promoted and he took him nearly to the playoffs in League One. It was only towards the end it went awry, but obviously at Bradford, I think he found it difficult. But speaking about his style of play, Derek, I think it's a bit of a misconception, really, that the Tranmere game and in the playoffs, that's not really how we play a lot of the time, to be honest. Basically, we were fortunate enough to have Derek on our podcast, and the way he kind of described, I think it's all about creating chances, more chances than the opposition. And the way he does that is not by not really bothering with possession, but when we do have the ball, make sure we're purposeful and we use it, we get it forwards. And it doesn't really matter whether that's a long ball into Cole, if it's a ball over the top for a winger to run onto, turn the defence, or if it's a quick kind of passing move through midfield. I don't think he necessarily makes you adhere to a certain style in that regard, but it's just about being purposeful and getting it forward quickly. And then, like you say, just off the ball, we don't have very much possession, but I think that's because to Derek, he doesn't really see that as a necessity for getting loads of chances. But with Stephen Robinson, it was a bit different, really, because but almost in a weird way quite similar. I think there was a lot more. He wanted to play with the ball a bit more, and there was a bit more of that. But ultimately, I think we had under Stephen, we had one of the lowest possession shares in the league, and we hit the third most long balls in the league. So he gave it a bit of lip service about passing and football and everything, but really that wasn't the case. And we actually became quite effective, I think, through January and February. The performances under Stephen were really quite good. I know a lot of fans don't really like to admit that now because of the way he left, but they really were quite good. But they weren't really through passing possession football. It was through a lot of direct play and mixing it up a little bit and being a bit of a hybrid side. I'd say probably the strongest thing about Stephen's team, though, was the press. The press was really, really smart and just well thought out and did a really effective job. But that said, Derek, I think it's a bit more you're on or you're off, but it does a good job. We're organised. We tend to pinch it in the field quite a lot. And like you say, the perfect Derek Adams performance isn't about just being gnarly and digging in. It's about having less possession than the opposition, but creating about twice as many good chances.
Yeah, I think, was it Portsmouth? I think he created lots of good opportunities and you should have won the game. And luckily for yourselves, you got that late goal to, rescue a point. And probably that point at that time gave you the cushion where, well, Fleetwood and Gillingham have lost ground with none of them have won. They've both drawn. And then obviously Fleetwood due to Wimbledon, which was you thought, well, those two games, if Fleetwood pick up more than 2 points. Well, they didn't. And obviously makes it a better point itself. One final thing before we come into the predictions. For me, one thing I look into, and I always look into League One team of the seasons, how Cole Stockton wasn't in there is an absolute joke. Absolute joke, because for me, I spoke to Jake about it, there's probably 4 or 5 goals that could go for goal of the season alone. The one away at Oxford was a brilliant flip. The one away at Cambridge where, Chest volleyed into the back of the net. Wimbledon at home. Fleetwood away. There's a few more, nice, smart finishes where he's got it on the half turn and, beat the keeper. For me, how big has he been this year? Because without him, you probably would have gone down. He is the difference that every team in League One or the Championship won. And also, by the way, do you see him going in the summer?
Good question. I think at the start of the season, he was in particularly vicious form. And I think I remember looking back, some of the underlying numbers at the start of the season weren't amazing, but our results were quite good. And a lot of that was Cole just being absolutely ridiculous. I think he's been great all season. It was particularly noticeable at the start of the season. I think it's nice to be able to, over recent months and weeks, being able to give him a few more easy chances to tuck away. Because as fun as his kind of thunderbolt efforts are, at the same time, I think there's something very, very satisfying about your striker consistently getting like tap-ins and goals inside the penalty area. But he has been vital to us, and I think I see you see a lot of conversation, transfer conversation, and say, "Oh, we should sign Stockton" and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is a problem with general fans talking about football in general. To be honest, a lot of people look at the fact he scored a lot of goals and think we need him, but they don't really think, why is he scoring lots of goals? What kind of system is he playing in? What does he bring to the game other than goals? And what Cole brings for us is he holds the ball up incredibly well. He's able to do he's got a lovely, lovely first touch, hold defenders off, bring others into play good little passing combinations with people. And now he's kind of timing his runs into the box a little bit better to get in the end of crosses on the deck a lot of the time. So, he has been vital to us. And I think both Derek and Stephen have both done well to get the absolute most out of him. In terms of whether he'll go in the summer, I know he loves it here, apparently. He absolutely loves it at the club, which is really nice. At the same time, if a championship club in the north come knocking with a lot of money, it'd be very hard for him to say no. I mean, obviously, I can't speak for him. I know he does love the club a lot, but at the same time, there are some offers that there could be a couple of offers that might be quite difficult for him to turn down. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's worth more to Morecambe than Cole Stockton is worth, if you get what I mean. I also think Cole Stockton's found a home as well at Morecambe, where he was very good at the back end of last year, very good this year. A bit like Will Keane, he wasn't really prolific before he came to Morecambe. He had a couple of dodgy spells at different football clubs, but at Morecambe, because of the play style suited him, he scored a lot of goals. Now, finally, Joel, Fleetwood prediction away at Bolton.
Oh, blimey! I mean, I think Matt was alluding to this before that we don't know exactly what approach that Everett is going to take. I think at the end of the day, he's a man who quite likes winning football matches, and they're in front of the home fans. They probably want to give it a good send off, have a nice little lap of honour around the end, and the fans will want that too. So you'd think there might be a couple of bits of rotation, but I think it will generally be a quite strong side. If I'm honest, sorry, whether. I mean,
you don't give me any hope here. So you're going for a Bolton victory, I'm guessing then.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think that collapse in that over the course of about 60 seconds against Sheffield Wednesday doesn't really bode particularly well.
44 seconds, mate. 44 seconds. Honestly, horrendous.
The raging bull that is Lee Gregory.
For me, him, Michael Smith, and Cole Stockton. The three that come to mind very quickly. Sam Vokes up there as well. When you give him the ball, hold it up, can shoot, turn the goal, really good at this level. That result would keep Morecambe up. Gillingham Rotherham prediction.
It's a funny one because Gillingham seems to have a bit more of a knack of late, since Harris took over, basically, of grinding out a result here and then. Now, they've not won in a while. It wouldn't shock me if they ground out a point in many ways. At the same time, Rotherham really need that win. And while they've blown a few things recently, which has really worked out quite nicely for us because it means they need that win on the final day. Can I see them necessarily blowing it against Gillingham? I'm not so sure. Like Matt said, I think that the home form's not been very good. Gillingham, Rotherham have been pretty good away generally. So, again, it's hard to see a win for Rotherham. A win for Gillingham, sorry. So, I'd almost be tempted to say that's slightly more likely to be a point. But then again, Bolton, if they take their foot off the gas a little bit, you've got a bit of it in there. Whereas Rotherham probably aren't going to take the foot off the gas. But then you could say, Rotherham going to bottle it because they're nervous, and Bolton will just play out of their skins because they've got nothing to worry about. You just don't know. That's the thing you can...
You're not helping me nerves here, man. You keep going for one. Rotherham are definitely going to win. Gillingham won't win. Bolton are going to win.
Well, if it makes
it's going to be a draw.
If you make you feel any better, last game of last season, both us and Bolton were playing mid-table sides who had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
I think we had Bradford and they had Crawley, I think.
Yeah, you beat Bradford quite comfortably, didn't you?
Yeah, and they beat Crawley very comfortably as well. So, but at the same time, that was us both. When
you were good, and this is
when we were comparatively slightly better in that division. So, you don't know. You don't really know. You're not sure people are going to turn up. Burton Albion looked like they couldn't be bothered against us, and then Charlton looked very good and very on it against us. So, you just don't know.
You never know. So, who have you got to go down then?
Oh my days! Rubbish at predictions.
Go on then, say it then if you're that really bad.
Go on then. Well, because I'm rubbish at predictions and I'm on here, and I won't make you happy, obviously, because you've invited me on, I'll say I think Gillingham are going to stay up, and I'm rubbish at predictions.
I don't blame you. And just before you go, do you want to plug your podcast that you do?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's called the Shrimps Net Podcast. It's done through the Shrimps Trust. We do it every week. We're fortunate enough to be able to get players on fairly regularly. We've had Derek on and stuff, and we have a couple of directors who come on very regularly and help us get guests. It's great fun. We were able to kind of speak quite in depth with the players and some coaching staff. It's been really good to do this year. We'll be continuing next year, hopefully. We'll have a little break over the summer, of course. But just check it out. Shrimps Net Podcast. Should be able to find it relatively easy because I don't think there's too many things called Shrimps Net on the internet unless you find some fishing equipment by accident, and then we'll need to improve our SEO.
I love it. Joel, I'm going to let you go, mate. All the best. And again, hopefully speak to you just before next season when we're both in Sky Bet League One. That'll be the dream, eh?
Exactly, mate. Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, Joel. Again, thank you very much for Joel coming on. Go over to his podcast, giving him a quick follow and everything like that one. Now we're going to talk about Fleetwood Town. Fleetwood Town. Wow. Again, we're going to come to your comments. We've got 80 people in the chat, by the way, so thank you for those that have come in. If you could give this stream a like, that'd be massively appreciated as well. And if you're new to the channel, please give it a subscription as well. And we've just amassed 8,500 subscribers. We've got 11,000 on the Sheffield Wednesday video as well. So if you could like and subscribe if you're new, we're trying to hit 9,000 subscribers very, very soon. Again, we're trying to hit 11,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Long time away, but you never know as well. Again, now keep the comments coming in. We're going to go to a 10-minute Q&A at the end. We're going to have 10 minutes on Fleetwood, then a 10-minute Q&A. Now, Fleetwood Town, one winning 20 matches for the Cods. They've not won in 10 home games. They've got to go to Bolton. Now, Bolton, we played them twice this year. We lost 1-0 on the Papa John's, and a week later we played them and beat them 3-0 at home. Again, Jed Garner scored a very, very good finish early on. Fizzed across, first time finish. Again, they had a man sent off in Santos, normally one of the better centre-backs in League One. But this is when Bolton went, on an awful run away from home, where I think they lost 8 or 9 in a row away from home. They went out with the cup to Stockport. I think they'd only scored 1 in that run, and then down to 10. Fleetwood scored twice and, get a 3-0 victory when Bolton are probably at their weakest. Now, Bolton, for me, since the turn of the year, since Everett's got some more, players in his squad and, those types, I think they've been much, much better. Marlon Fossey, for me, I've watched him a couple of times. Until his injury, he was up there with one of the best performers in their team, if not Sky Bet League One as well. Trafford in goal, I'm a big fan of. He was at Accrington as well. Dion Charles has added goals. He's added that bit of versatility. He's agile. He likes to, turn on the old shoulder. He's, quite pacey as well. Bordvalson is an experienced striker. He's been round the block, and I saw him actually playing football with a young lad after the game and stuff like that. You just think that Bolton Wanderers have got the spirit back, as well as the soul inside the stadium as well. So it's going to be a really, really tough game. And, Bolton Wanderers are a football club that have dramatically changed in the last 3 years, where 2-3 years ago they were playing 18, 19-year-olds, a little bit like Fleetwood are doing now. Obviously, they were struggling to pay wages, struggling, with, the chairman, stuff like that. And since, I think Sharon Britton's come in, I think she's been superb for that football club. She doesn't wave a cash around, but what she does make sure is players have the right facilities. They're the best coaching staff. They've got experience around them. They've got, everything that footballer needs that, doesn't really get noticed on a general note, on a general day-to-day. So it's going to be a real, real tough game against a team that have on the up for me. And we've only won 3 times away from home all year. And that is what you've got to remember. It's not good enough. The 3 wins, like we said before, Rotherham, Doncaster and Crewe. Fleetwood Town have scored 60 goals this year. Some sides going for top 10, top 12 would sometimes struggle to score 60 goals. But Fleetwood's problem is conceding too many goals, and conceding 3, 4. We've conceded 5 once this year. But too many games this year, we've conceded twice or 3 times. Over half the games, we must have conceded over 2 goals. 3 at home against a Wednesday, against, Wigan. We had a 2-0 lead against Wigan at home. We lost 3-2 by sitting back, allowing pressure. Now, these are good football sides, who will pressure you. Wednesday are the same. They've got Barry Bannon, Luengo in midfield is a joke. A really good footballer. They've got, the subs that they brought on the other day. We can't compete with that. And again, Gregory, free header, and he wins the ball back straight from halfway, which is sloppy from our point of view. And it's a brilliant finish. But again, it's the same old story now. If I'm a Gillingham player, I'm more optimistic than a Fleetwood player going in, because Fleetwood are like, well, we had it in the bag. We could have been up by now. We could have easily said, what if they go 1-0 up? The mentality, is it going to happen again? Is it the whole story going to come down to this one game? Now, Gillingham have got a lot of experienced players in that squad. The Dean Oliver, Chapman in goal's been around the block. Jack Tucker's been around. Ryan Jackson, really good footballer. And then, they've got the young lads to bed in as well. Whereas Fleetwood, I think they have got experienced lads that have been good, the likes of Joe Garner, Anthony Pilkington, Danny Andrew, Alex Cairns. But there's a more youth in there, likes of Kean Hayes. For me, he's been Fleetwood's best player in 2022, bar Paddy Lane. And then I look, well, who's going to score me a goal on Saturday? Because Fleetwood won't keep a clean sheet away from home, in my opinion, for 90 minutes, because I think Fleetwood go there with the attitude going, I think we'll draw, and then I don't think Rotherham will win, which I think is the wrong mentality. I think Stephen Craney will drill into the lads that you've got to win, but I think the way that we'll set up in a formation and the way we'll play for a draw. And I think with Bolton's quality that they've got, likes of Carl Dempsey, Boardvalton, Dion Charles, Morley, again, great midfielder at this level. Declan John, also good player as well. They've got so many good players, Bolton. And my worry is that I think Gillingham, if they get something, I think they stay up. I think Gillingham are more likely to get something than Fleetwood are, that, in my opinion. I know Gillingham are playing Rotherham, who are second in the league. They've not been great away from home lately. Rotherham are a good football inside. They play the right way. They've got very good players in the side. They've got a Michael Smith, who, for me, is one of the best strikers at this level. And he's proved that over the last couple of years. Never really been able to step it up into the Championship. But I think with them at home, Priestfield, Fleetwood again, I'm going to go away from home in front of 13,000, 14,000 fans, and it's how they freeze. It's how they do. Fleetwood Town have froze too many times this year, and they froze away at Portsmouth after being 3-0 up. They froze away at Wigan. Wigan are a good side. Froze away at Dalton Ipswich, where we conceded in the last minute. Froze away at Wycombe, where we conceded in the last minute. Burton again, where we conceded in the last minute. Then we conceded at home against Wednesday after being 2-1 up. Wigan, 2-0 up. How many times are we saying this? Fleetwood Town have conceded late goals. Luckily, Fleetwood have had goals in the side this year to keep them where they are, and it all goes down to goal difference on Saturday for me. And Fleetwood Town have to go with a mentality to win the game of football. Now, for me, Morecambe are safe. I've never been as sure as anything in my life that Morecambe are safe, because Fleetwood Town and Gillingham both, I don't think they both win. One may win, I don't think both do. I do think it's down to that first half. I think if one's losing and one's winning, or say if Gillingham are 2-0 down or Fleetwood are 1-0 down, I think the atmosphere goes really flat where we know we're safe. I think it'll be one. I don't think it'll be really tense going in. I think it'll be one of those games where we'll know with about 20 to 25 minutes. But we've known Fleetwood, we're 2-0 up. We know we're gonna get 3 points, and then we've not won the game, and that's been the disappointing thing with being a Fleetwood fan this year. And Fleetwood got the most goals in the bottom 9. That's something that they can take. And, Bolton, you can get at them at times. I think that they are a good side. They're unbeaten in 7. They've won 4 of them. But you can get at them and you can score goals against this Bolton side. And that is just my opinion going into the last day of the season. In my opinion, I do think, in my head, I think Fleetwood on a normal day, because a normal game, I think all 3 sides lose. But it's not a normal game. It's the last game of the season. Anything can happen. It's the last day, and I think Fleetwood Town will just get the job done, but not at any great expense of their own. Fleetwood Town have not kept themselves up this year. They've been really poor sides. Fair play to Gillingham. They were 10 points adrift at one stage, and they've given themselves some hope. I think they can, regardless, they know why they've been relegated. The first, 24, 25, 26, 27 games of the season, they weren't good enough. Now they've basically had a mini league in the last 16 games where they've been much, much better, and they can say that, we gave ourselves some hope, whereas Fleetwood and Morecambe have been consistently poor, in my opinion. Morecambe have been a lot better than Fleetwood, but they're only 2 points better off. And 2 points is 2 points. That Cole Stockton game is the difference between a 3-point swing. Fleetwood Town would be on 41. Morecambe, would be also on 40 points. So, again, it changes the complexion of everything as well. So it's going to be a tough game, and for me, I think it's going to go right down to the wire. It could be really cagey, but it could really go down to the last day. I would not want to predict it right now. If you've got any questions for the last 5 or so minutes of the stream, let me know. Again, if you are new, please remember to like and subscribe. We will have a prediction video out tomorrow, hopefully, predicting all the real important games. I think there's 7 real important games. You look at Wigan, they can win the league. Rotherham can win promotion. At Gillingham can also send Gillingham down. Gillingham can stay up. Fleetwood Bolton again. Fleetwood can stay up. Morecambe, Sunderland. Sunderland need a win to confirm their playoff place, even though they're unbeaten in 12, winning 7 of those. Wycombe, again, best run of the season. Need a win or to win by more goals than Plymouth. Again, Sheffield Wednesday need a win to guarantee the playoffs. Anything can happen in this final day of the season. It is absolutely mental. I've not seen a final day in League One like this for some time where, 5 teams can still stay up. We've not talked about Wimbledon, by the way, in this stream. Wimbledon can still stay up. A 7-goal swing. They've only won 6 games all season. They haven't won in 26 games. It's very unlikely. But if they win 3-0 and Fleetwood lose 4-0, it could happen. It really could happen that that outcome happens, or even they win 4-0 or 5-0. Very unlikely. But if Wimbledon just have to go out and attack. They'll either go out and attack, get beat 3-0, or they'll go out and attack and win 2-0 or 2-1, and it's not enough. All you can do is do your best. I think we can all agree that Milton Keynes do not deserve to be in the Championship. Well, I disagree with that. I think that the squad that they've assembled, I think that you talk about, I don't care about the MK franchise stuff. I'm judging them on this season. They've been one of the best sides in the league. They've played some really good football. They scored a lot of goals. They played a lot of attractive football. They've taken on the better sides. And they're where they are for a reason after 45 games. Doncaster to win 15 against our under-18s. What have veterans like Garner and Pilkington been like? Pilkington, for me, has been really good. For 20-25 minutes, he comes on and he affects the game. Every time he's on the pitch, Pilkington, Fleetwood Town are a better team. His first touch is second to none, and he will always create an opportunity. He's just not been given enough opportunities for me. Since Craney came in, Pilkington's been much, much better. Joe Garner, when he gets given more than 30 seconds, is a really good striker at this level. We saw that with his last 2 goals, which are really good, smart finishes. The free kick was cool, composed, basically kept Fleetwood Town in League One up to that point. And also his header, the way that he had to lean back to galvanise all the strength himself in the header. Wimbledon doesn't win, I'm going down for the game. Imagine Wimbledon winning 8-0. They only have to win by an 8-goal swing, because I think Fleetwood have scored more goals, haven't they? So it's one of those type of things. They deserve it. Exactly, for me, it doesn't matter. Right, it doesn't matter how you play, the way you play, how many goals you score, how many goals you concede. If you have more points than everyone else in League One, you deserve to go up as champions. We can have done that if they get the job done away at Shrewsbury. Rotherham are the same. Rotherham, they beat Gillingham and MK Dons, beat Plymouth, they go up on goal difference. Well, then all of a sudden, it does matter how many goals you've scored, but they've still got enough points. Whereas MK Dons have put themselves in a position to get promoted anyway. Wycombe, again, don't play the most attractive style of football, but they're always up there. Wednesday, again, been poor at times, but been really good at times. So, for me, deserve to be up there. The team that don't deserve to be up there is Portsmouth, Ipswich, Those types of football clubs have been too inconsistent this year, had bad runs. At bad times, they've got good squads, good budgets, good, healthy sized fan base, they always take a great allocation away from home, good owners as well. So for me, you've got to look at the sides that have, been there and done it. And if you go and get 89 points in a season or 86 points, you do deserve to be up there. If you don't get 40 points and you stay up, you don't deserve to stay up. But you do deserve to stay up because you've got more points than the other 4 teams. So it's weird how football can work itself out. Come on, Wimbledon. I think it was being sarcastic, simply. All right. If it was being sarcastic, then I do apologise. What are the chances of Donny staying up, in your opinion? I think that you've been better under Gary McSheffrey. I don't know if I'd give him the job. Depends what your aims are for next season, I guess. 50-1 Wimbledon to stay up, worth a punt. Exactly, everything's worth a point. Sarcasm. All right. For me, Bolton, good side. In a normal League One game, 2-0, yeah, they boss it off. For me, this is a mini pre-season for Bolton because they want to win as many games as they can going into next year, playing the way they do, bring the players that they've had on loan or had on short-term contracts to go in next year and rebuild around. Score prediction for Sheffield Wednesday Portsmouth 2-1. Thank you for the donation, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much as well. She is. I'll get her to subscribe to her. Do you think Wigan will win at Shrewsbury? Winless in 5 for the first time this season. You know what's mad? We say every year that a League One team will go on a blip at one stage of the season, right? And all season we've ticked it off when they've had it. The bottom 8 clubs in League One have basically had it all season, to be fair to them. So I'm just waiting for the good 5-game run for Fleetwood at the minute. But Wigan, I would say, was the only team that haven't had a real blip. They might have lost a game or not won in 2 or 3, but they've always bounced back and won the next 3 or 4 games, where you can kind of call, oh, it's just not really a blip. It's just a setback. I'd say a blip is where you go 5 or 6, 7 games without a win. They haven't really had that this season. They've always had that thing called bounce back ability. And it's weird it's come now, the worst time in the season. But for me, I think you're up anyway. I do think you will go up. And you deserve to go up. You've got, a really good fan base, a really good squad. Callum Lang, Will Keane, Max Power been brilliant this year in multiple different positions as well. Derrick, I'm a big fan of, consistent every week. Ben Amos is a consistent goalkeeper. Kerr at the back. It is a healthy squad. They will be paying big money on wages, but you deserve to be there for a reason. And I think you will do it in the end. And you can forget about that. Do I think you need to strengthen for next year? Absolutely, because the Championship's a totally different league. Just ask Rotherham. Wigan have been guilty of it in the past. Barnsley up and down. I think you'll be okay, but I still think there's maybe 7 or 8 additions there. Fleetwood 11 for Saturday. Cairns in goal. Andrew, Toto, Tom Clark, Gills, Macadam, because there's no Callum Johnson, which is a big blow. Midfield, Callum Camps, Boyle, Batty is the only one we've got. And no, take Batty out, put Pilkington in, and front 2, Hayes and Garner. I think Pilkington's going to be needed. I don't care bringing him on with 20 minutes to go. We might need him from the start, just because those lads are going to be nervous. The likes of Boyle, the likes of Keane Hayes, these players, they're going to need the Tom Clarks, the Toto Encialas, Danny Andrews, Alex Cairns round them. For me, Pilkington start behind the front 2, really effective there. And if it goes bad, we can go to a front 3 where Hayes and Pilkington with Garner up front as well. For me, Batty cost us the game the other night with giving the ball away on halfway. I'm a big fan of Dan Batty as well. Again, Paddy Lane won't be playing as well. Paddy Lane will be gone in the summer, 100% for me. I'll be surprised if he still have Fleetwood players. He's magic, that boy. I could see it. First touch spot on. He can cross the ball, by the way. I said Ash Hunter was one of the best crosses in League One when we had him. Paddy Lane's a better crosser of a ball than Ash Hunter, in my opinion. They're both very, very good what they can do with the football. He isn't blessed with pace, but he's still quite quick. He can so quick and agile. And honestly, a genuine top bloke as well, all round. West Ham are interested in him as well. Ben, can you read my last message? It was a super chat. Yeah, shout out to Henry as well. Thank you so much, mate. I did forget to get round to it. Albert was Plymouth, Sunderland and Morecambe. Fleetwood's blip was against Wigan. Did quite well against Rotherham, if I remember. Bolton. Every team in League One we've had a blip against, pretty much. What do you think is the team to watch out for next season? Ooh. You've always got to see the sides coming up. Exeter, Forest Green Rovers that we know about. Peterborough coming down, Barnes. I think Barnsley and Derby might struggle at this moment in time. Look at Bolton, I think they've missed out. I think Ipswich will also want to re-go again. Portsmouth, those types of football sides that have seen how good the top 8 in League One of this season have been. Maybe Oxford may die down with, I think they'll lose one of Sykes or Brannigan, if not both. Maybe Matty Taylor might move on as well. So I think it's going to be a really interesting league next year. Do you think Derby will go straight back up if Rooney stays? All depends on the players that they bring in. At this moment in time, I don't think they'll go back up. Still can't believe how Wednesday have done the double over Wigan MK but lost to Morecambe and couldn't beat Gillingham. Football. Welcome to Sky Bet League One, mate. Welcome to Sky Bet League One. Me looking forward to Derby away next season. Yeah, absolutely. Big weekend for you. Good luck, mate. Thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate it. Keep up your good work, by the way. One of the best out there as well for me. How good has Tom Clark been? Tom Clark, for me, every game, 7 out of 10 performance. You know, centre half, cool, composed. You know, has he made mistakes this season? Yes, he has. But he's also been vital for us as well, for me. I'm saying it now. Fleetwood are going to stay at 1-0 late goal for Callum Camps from Bristol Rovers fan. Then he joined Bristol Rovers in the summer. Joe Garner was really good on Tuesday. Yeah, he held that line really, really well. But if you had to sign one Gills player, who would it be? Oof. It's a tough question. I like Ryan Jackson a lot. I think he's a very, very good right back. But for Dean Oliver, he's a striker that can score goals. We saw it with Service. You know, he can score a lot of goals. And you lost players in the summer and you don't create as many chances anymore. That's why he's not scored as many goals. But he's still got double figures in a poor side. For me, Dean Oliver has to be on that list in terms of what he offers. I think Jack Tucker's also a good, calm, composed centre-back. But for me, Dean Oliver scores goals. And for me, some of the goals he has scored this year. Good luck to Wigan. Hope they win the league. Been the best team over the season. And yeah, exactly. Also, by the way, Rob Kelly being there as well. Me and Tony speak this a lot. Rob Kelly kept Barrow in League 2 last year. Also, by the way, Fleetwood, when he was at Fleetwood, made a huge impact with Uwe Rosler and gone to Wigan and done really, really well. Love that man. And again, Liam Manning is a very good tactician, but I'm telling you now, he is a great number 2 to have. Do you think Wes Burns will leave Ipswich in the summer? Nope. Because it's his best season in the EFL and I think he'll stay. Who do you think is going to get the playoffs? Oh. MK Dons, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Wycombe or Plymouth. Wycombe. I think Plymouth draw, Wycombe win for me. Looking crazy, but Stockton's halfway goal could keep us up. I know, I said it at the time how big it was and just proved to be the difference. Oh, yeah, but remember, lads, how good he's been. Can't be nominated for Team of the Season, can he? Do you want Matetti's back? He's useless. Yeah, right. I'm not a moral guy, but Fleetwood win was Gregory and Windass took matters in their own hands. But sometimes big players come up for managers. Moore's been inconsistent this year, but it shows the players are still fighting for him, which means a lot. Who would you be looking to sign realistically for the Cards? Named is such a hard way. I think you've got to go in. For me, we need a left back because Danny Andrew will leave. We'll need 2 or 3 centre halves. We'll need a right back permanently. That's 6 already, 5 or 6. We'll need 2 or 3 more midfielders. Fleetwood Town will have 14 players come in at least next year. I don't know names, but depends on the budget and depends also what league we're in, mate. There you are, mate. We'll both lose, but I don't think we'll die down. Always lose players and rebuild. We are coming to the comments. We are commenting. We'll be able to be a stream on conclusion Saturday, end of season roundup. Right. The plan is for the end of season roundup. Now, what we're going to do, we'll have a Monday show, a League One roundup at the usual time with 7 o'clock with Jake. Yeah, that one from Lincoln. He'll be back. Watch out, lads. No, so we'll have an hour and a half stream, and then there are a lot of videos coming. So we have got a ranking every away day this season. I have done 22 after Saturday out of 23. I had COVID for Plymouth away, gutted. You know, could use that excuse for Saturday actually, so I don't have to torture myself. Ranking all the fans, home fans, ranking away fans to come to Fleetwood, stuff like that. Ranking, obviously, I've done my team of the season as well. We'll rank obviously the managers and their performance, what each team need to do, best player from each team, what I'd like to sign from each team, stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of content coming. Like May, I'm pretty much saying there's going to be 3 videos a week. There'll be more content then than there is during the season because we can just boss it off and rank stuff and just review it. So again, there'll be a lot of content coming. We'll also have a stream looking at the new teams to arrive into League One. So we've got Derby, Barnsley and Forest. Derby, Barnsley coming down from the Championship. And Peterborough as well. And you've got Forest Green and Exeter coming as well. And one of, Northampton, Bristol Rovers, those type of teams could come up as well. So we'll have a reviewing all the teams that are coming up, what we can expect. And also, hopefully, playoff watch-alongs. Hopefully, we can get to a playoff game as well. That is the ideal situation, all being well with work and getting a ticket as well. So there'll be a lot of content on the channel. Thank you for the question, mate. If I had to say one Wednesday play, would it be Barry Bannon? Who do you reckon's winning the playoffs? MK Dons. I don't know. MK Dons. Do you think Cal Capital will be at State Fleetwood? Nope. I don't think he stays regardless. Do you think Quinn will be still a manager? Absolutely. No, certain of that. Quinn will not be in charge. Part of Dark is on me if the cards stay up on Saturday. Mate, can't wait for that. You know me too well. I'll get you a pint back. Don't you worry. Rob Kelly, brilliant. Heading off, mate. Good luck for Saturday. You too, mate. Keep up your good work. Hopefully, we'll see you. FTC retainers for next year. Kenzie, Batty, and yeah. Obviously, you keep the likes of the younger lads around them as well. Looking forward to it, Ben. Great stuff. If Fleetwood go down, are there any new away days? All of them, all the new ones I can get done on my 72. Now, I'm going to say this now. People have been asking me on Twitter and asking on here. There will be League One roundup every week, regardless of Saturday. I will still do League One roundup. I've devoted to it. I love doing it. It's my favourite thing to do. Me and Jay put a lot of prep into it. And I honestly, I'm going to say it's my favourite show to do by an absolute mile. There will be League 2 content as well, coming into it as well. But League 1 content, Monday, 7 o'clock, it's just a thing. It's like going to Tesco for your meal deal. It's just, the best thing out there, isn't it? I believe we've sold about 500 to now. Great show again. Hope Fleetwood survive on Saturday. Thank you, Tony, for your support all season. Who do you think's going to win the league? Wigan Athletic. We've got 93 of you in the show, by the way. So if you could give this show a like, we're going to head off now. And also subscribe. Oh, I'm turning to Paul Cook here. Also subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Again, we've got one cup final to go. I hate using that phrase. Where Fleetwood Town win and we stay up. Draw, we've got to hope. Lose, we've got to hope. And pray that Rotherham turn into prime Wigan Athletic up to 5 games ago. So hopefully we get the job done. Thank you for all your support this season. It does mean a lot to me. And again, without you, it's not a show. So if you could like and subscribe, that'd be very much appreciated. Until next time, guys, I will see you later. We'll have a match day vlog from the slightly earlier time of about 3:03 on Saturday because it's an early kickoff. Just means that you have to get up slightly early and gets the pain out the way, which I'm not going to lie. It's probably good. Cheers, Chris. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Please remember to like and subscribe. Tell you what, my nerves are not going to hold up. Thanks very much for watching. Until Saturday, I'll see you very much later.